All right, y'all. I'm gonna do a quick little video. It's mid-April right now, and things are starting to heat up. The dry part of the dry season is definitely here. It's been windy, sunny, and dry. We had a couple of nice rains a few weeks ago that kind of kept things along, but I'm definitely starting to see signs of dryness here. So I kind of wanted to take a little tour while I have the time and talk about what I've been doing here, because it's a lot more. I did major chop and drop a little earlier than I did last year, and I just wanted to explain why. So first things first, the outer living wall is definitely not touched. I still need that layer of protection from this exposed site. Very beautiful right now. The Mexican sunflowers are doing their spring showcase right now, so obviously want to leave those to enjoy. But anyways, yeah, so the eastern flank has not been touched. Only a little bit to keep it from things falling over. But the interior has been managed pretty thoroughly, and I'll put the little card up there so you can see when I made a video when I introduced the online shop, which by the way has been working out awesomely. Thank y'all for supporting. It's really cool sensation to feel that that love and support come from people I don't even know online. I guess I'm just new to the e-commerce world, and just feel super grateful and appreciative that people actually putting in orders. So thank you so much. But anyways, yeah, on that video I announced the online shop, and then did a little tour, and you really saw the winter floof that it was in. It was definitely, things were overgrown and things were not managed because it was cold and wintry still. So now things are, because more than anything, there's been just a lot of mosquito activity that's been really annoying and bothersome and frustrating, to be honest. So one of the downfalls of utilizing so much mulch, maybe I'll make a more thorough video about kind of the downsides of using the amount of mulch that I did. Mainly a lot of insects, mainly millipedes. Had too much of a good thing, as they kind of spread around neighboring properties. So that's a video in of itself. But mosquitoes as well. The part of the reason why I don't have to water anything out here is because there's so much latent moisture, and all that moisture is just perfect, a little hiding ground for a lot of the mosquito eggs that get blown in on the wind this time of year. I think they're called coastal, like marsh mosquitoes. They don't require standing water to breed, and they can fly in the wind. So I think right now in these these windy days, I think a lot of them get blown in, and they'll kind of hatch their eggs in all the mulch, and yeah, it really forced me to open up in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just walk through, and so you can see the difference. Again, that video is linked so that you can see what it looked like a few months ago. But definitely you can totally see. Okay, so wait, actually one more thing was that, so last year I did a major pruning around maybe it was like around May, later May, maybe early June, because I really wanted to shade things out as much as possible, or at least I felt that I wanted to. And then what ended up happening was that, like, things got a little too overgrown. It was a little too late. It was kind of a hassle managing things for the summer. So I kind of just figured I might as well get a jump on it, because all that chop and drop is actually feeding the system with water, which is a form of irrigation. So a lot of that stuff is going to be watering the plants to make this last little bit of the dry season manageable. And also I feel comfortable now that the corymbias are up here, that a lot of the more pioneer trees like the bananas also are holding their own up there. I feel like there's enough dappled sunlight now that I can get away with doing management early in the spring, so that I don't have to worry about things being overgrown when summer rolls around. And also, my context, I'm stretched thin as it is. I'm working on multiple people's properties. I barely have time for my own. So any time that I can get ahead of the game, that's fine with me. Like, I really, at this point, this property was the prototype. This property, I call it the living billboard in a sense. People see this and, want this, so I get new clients. So the most important thing right now is just to stay ahead of it. And with all that out of the way, I'm just gonna go ahead and do a quick little walk. So I wanted to open up sunlight for certain things that fruit this time of year. So the Suriname cherry fruited pretty nicely when it like rained a few times and got some good flushes. But I've been noticing that this particular plant really is dependent on how much water it gets when it fruits. And when it does get water, it fruits really nicely. And then when it doesn't really fruit that well. And the fruits themselves are like this one's nowhere near as juicy as other Suriname cherries I had. So anyways, Barbados cherry needs some sunlight too, so we're opening it all up. You can see just that perfect dappled shade. All that biomass on the ground. A lot more space for the mangoes. Beautiful Carimbia is up there. So once we start getting those summer rains, then I'll go ahead and do the April cuts from all the trees. But for now, it's still windy. It's still dry. So I want to keep the microclimate as much as possible. So yeah, it's really nice and open in here. A lot less mosquitoes, thankfully. There's still mosquitoes for sure, but nowhere near as much as there was before I started managing. Let's see. Oh yeah, a lot of the pineapples are starting to flower and fruit, so they need that sun. I guess I'll just keep going down. I just kind of want to highlight some of the things that are able to get some breathing space now. Mango. Here we have soursop, another Suriname cherry looking really nice. More than anything, a lot of the trees are starting to come into their own. We had a mild winter, so nothing died back. And nice jackfruit. A lot of these are starting to pick up steam, which is really nice. Here's the Aki. Really, really nice. Okay, so I'll just go down the line. But yeah, it's such a gratifying feeling, just like being in an area that just recently got managed, because it's so much clearer. So one thing I did do that it is double-edged sword is I planted a lot of Mexican sunflower in the in-between, and it's really nice during the winter when everything's cold, but these stumps really start to get in the way over time, and they really are just really fast growers, so it's kind of hard to keep up with them sometimes. But they have been providing, especially if you're doing a completely no irrigation system like this, they do provide invaluable biomass. So it's a pain in the butt to keep the inside rows of Mexican sunflower managed, and they end up toppling over a lot and getting into the pathways because they're a little bit more shaded. But in the long run, I think it's worth it. But just know that if you do an overabundance of Mexican sunflower, you're going to always be trying to catch up with them. And they kind of eat into the bed space sometimes. So anyways, minor details. Yeah, so all this fresh stuff feeding all these trees, and like I said, it's a lot more sunlight, a lot more of that dappled shade coming in now. The achote, Bisha orellana, anado trees have been really, they cruise through the mild winter, and I really like their presence as a I would rather have this in the middle rows all down the line than Mexican sunflower and Napier, because this stuff could handle some of the shade, and of course just like the growth habit is very, very easy to work with. Super awesome. Achote, I already harvested some seeds, so I want to definitely keep expanding. It's a perfect it's not as cold hardy as certain things, but it's a perfect little understory crop that will do well to include in the middle rows, just because of that canopy. That canopy is really nice. You can control that as much as you want. You see how much shade there is under there compared to right here? So definitely want to work more with achote. Roy Poinciana, getting the limelight right there. The Indian almond is starting to pick up steam as well. I remember I planted this thing was like this big. It's getting close to my chest. Oh yeah, a lot of the moringas and the leucaenas, I'm just hacking back. Like, this is another big important topic I want to talk about, was never getting attached to your service trees, like especially the invasive ones. This is leucaena, as is this one right here. I just want to show. Oh yeah, right here. So this guy was starting to seed, and it was a beautiful tree. You know, you can tell that it had some nice, you know, thickness to it up there. But at the end of the day is that we as agroforesters you need to be responsible in our usage. And we do not want these leucaenas and all these other invasive species to spread. It's good to use them, but you got to have something that it replaces it. Like right next to it is a mango. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think it might be easy to get caught up in like getting all the service species, because you know they grow so well in the harsh sand. And you might like do it up with all these service species, but then not have anything to replace it. And that could lead to some issues, because you might feel a little bit more attached to some of your service plants just because they look cool or stuff like that. Like even this corymbia, you know, they can be slightly invasive with their tiny little seeds. And I don't want those seeds spreading. Like, this is a tool, and only a tool, and something that I can harvest pole wood from, you know, in a few years. So just a reminder to myself when I was hacking and slashing to not have any sympathy for the invasives, because they're here solely as a tool. And obviously this mango's already caught up to it, so this mango doesn't need any help anymore. This guy can go ahead and go. I'll probably end up cutting it later. So yeah, I don't know, you can just really see the difference really clear in here. Really, all the organic matter put down. It's a really beautiful feeling, to be honest. Really satisfying to see a fully managed, you know, the day after. So yeah, every little thing has its space now. I'll show. There's a big old Saba. I'll show that we haven't had a drop of rain in past, you know. Actually, we did have a little bit of rain the other day, but overall, not so much. And you can really see it's a testament to how moist this is here, especially at the spot. Oh wow, look at it, it's beautiful, this little flower here. This dollarweed is coming up really nicely, and so are these shampoo gingers, are all coming up really nicely, and this arrowroot is coming up really nicely. For dry, windy conditions, this little microclimate here underneath the sable palm is really, really nice. And yeah, and also pruning the sable palms helps so much. They get so shaggy and so bushy during the winter. At least I let them, and they create such a nice little microclimate. And then when spring hits, boom, you cut them, and not only does it help with getting more sunlight here where they start flowering. Look, there's a little flower spike right here. Here's another flower spike. All the new flower spikes are gonna have all the sunlight and airflow that they need to flower prolifically. I've seen this in that picayune and the trails that I go to after a controlled burn. I really see, you know, the sable palms and the saw palmettos especially, they really love getting refreshed by the burns. And a lot of the ones I saw on the trail were just like completely burned to the top, but still pushing out flowers, still like getting triggered, knowing that, you know, the underbrush got cleared out. So then that flowering process is going to be really nice. So that's one thing I've been doing more, is just keeping the palms cleaned during the hotter months. Nice avocado. Okay, let's I really wanted to show the more than anything just the managing, obviously, but let me see from here. Got some bird activity. Let's see, I'll start from here now. So yeah, you can see this sable palm is gonna flower crazy. This is a flower spike. 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 This is one. This is one. This is one. This is one right here. Like, I don't know. And look at all the ones I've already cut off. So you can definitely tell that this is a happy sable palm, and having it pruned up like this helps immensely the new set of flowers and fruit, and also help with dispersal. You know, at the end of the day, we are trying to regenerate native habitat. So the more easy it is for animals to come grab seeds and distribute them, then the better for the native plants here. And you know, it's really you can really pick and choose what you want to chop and what you don't want to chop. Like this acerola, this Barbados cherry needs that fuller sun, so I chopped this one down, but I kept these because I don't know, I kind of like these here. I don't really have anything here that needs to. I have a Pitanga tuba here that's really not doing so hot, so I can elect to keep certain elements of the shade if I wanted to. Not every single thing has to go down. There's sort of a maxim in like Syntropic where you have to, you know, cut everything all at the same time so that everything pulses back, which it makes sense. Obviously, you know, you want that efficiency in your managing. But something like this, which is like my little, like I said, my little first prototype garden, I could be loosey-goosey with it. I don't have to synchronize everything all at one time and do it specifically how it's gonna have the best results. I can leave a couple of things here and there if I need to. Like this is my neighbor's place over here, so I always like to have a little bit of a visual barrier. So, you know, you can pick and choose. You don't have to be so dogmatic about certain things like that. These need to get chopped back. I don't want them spreading or setting any seed. But yeah, everything's cleared out. Everything has airflow. It's easier to walk in. It's a lot less mosquitoes. Antonio Gomez is one of my favorite Brazilian agroforesters. He says that the ecological function of mosquitoes is to bother the primates and other mammals of a forest so that they could trample over things and move around and like try to create more sunlight in the system so that it would be a more healthy and functional forest, right? I think it's a little bit of a stretch, but I could see where like when I first heard it, I was like, that's giving mosquitoes too much credit. If you work outside long enough, you come to learn that mosquitoes are no freaking joke and they're super annoying. But when I first heard that, I was a little bit like, yeah, okay, you're giving a little too much credit to these damn mosquitoes. And it wasn't until this year when we had a bad swarm of those marsh mosquitoes a couple weeks ago that I've really felt that. I was like, that's true. I was like, I couldn't go to sleep because I was like thinking of all the managing I wanted to do to freaking clear the forest of these mosquitoes. Nice little bird action. So anyways, yeah, clearing everything up, doing the spring cleanup. I want to stay ahead of the game so that when we do get the rains, I'm fighting an uphill battle. I'm already one step ahead. It's hard to do all this yourself, so it's easier to be ahead of the game. Sure, we're gonna have some winds. Sure, there's gonna be maybe some bananas that get downed because there wasn't enough wind protection. Sure, I'll cut my losses. It's okay. I got other properties to manage. It's not gonna be perfect. At the very least, I can actually walk out here and not get eaten alive by mosquitoes. So that's a win in my eyes. So yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to show the difference of having a freshly pruned system, how you can see every little element, and you can see that ideal dappled sunlight. I wanted to make this video when there was some sun shining too, so you can see that this is what you're hoping for when you do agroforestry like this. You want that little pockets of sun. But yeah, the corymbias are all starting to shed. It's super beautiful. You can see that little like white kind of chalky looking design on it. It's really cool. And all the mangoes are starting to be over my head. All the mahoganies are starting to be over my head. Mulberries are starting to take the place of the high strata up there and not congested with everything else. It's one of the things that happens in these types of systems when everything's young and all growing up with each other. It's kind of hard to stratify them, especially mulberries. They don't like getting shaded out, so it's nice to see everything finding their place now. And so yeah, that's about it. Spring managing, I've been doing a lot of it. It's been tiring, but it's so worth it. And I can't wait to get some real deal biomass from this China berry once the summer rains start kicking in. But for now, I want to keep that microclimate for the winds. But soon enough, we'll get to our super hot, muggy, windless days. Really nice ground cover. Okay, that's it. I'm sure there's other details I want to talk about, but enough's enough. It's a long enough video. Let me just do one last pan of this little alleyway because I think it's super satisfying visually to see just how clear it is down the middle. Yeah, nice. All right, that's all.